The year is 2010. I go to the cinema and watch Inception for the very first time. And it makes me angry, because I realized in that moment I would never make a movie as good as that. Since then, Christopher Nolan has made movies just as good as Inception, and worse than Inception, but there's always something about Inception itself that sticks in my mind. The year is now 2020, we're on the brink of a new Christopher Nolan movie that looks to be his best one yet. But before finally getting to watch it, I rewatched Inception, and I really need to talk about one thing. Yeah, you've probably heard a bunch of theories and analysis about the movie since it came out, that it could be seen as a movie about making movies, or the cool details like how Je ne regrette rien is slowed down across each dream because time works differently, or you've wondered if the ending is that classic children's story ending of it was all a dream, or was it? What I want to talk about right now, however, is that there's a moment of most pure brilliance hidden amongst everything in this movie, and it's the most simple of ideas. Which is what Inception is all about. If you don't know what Inception's about, it's a heist movie that takes place in people's dreams. Inception is very, very cool. It's basically Christopher Nolan making his own Ocean's 11, by way of James Bond movies, Stanley Kubrick, The Matrix, Paprika. It's a blockbuster movie with brilliant practical effects, and it's allowed to be intelligent. The descriptor, intelligent, may vary for you. For every memorable sequence in Inception, there's many a concept the audience has to get their head around.
Inception made sense!
You don't have to try to impress me, Morty.
This is, of course, a film where Leonardo DiCaprio and his friends travel into a dream inside of a dream inside of a dream. It's no wonder we're given Ellen Page's character Ariadne as the classic audience avatar, the person who's given the bulk of the exposition. And it's a lot of exposition.
I am the subject, my mind populates. You can literally talk to my subconscious. That's one of the ways we extract information.
Right, that's right.
In case one of us brings in our projection, that way when you look at your details, we know beyond a doubt that you know that someone else is.
Yet, you remain engaged. Nolan's not new to the concept of playing with narrative. Hell, Tenet looks to have a ton of time travel.
No. Inversion.
So of course he knows how to get these concepts through to the audience. And that's visually.
You're not shooting the bullet, you're catching it.
Sure, we may be given info dumps every 5 minutes, but Nolan is smart enough to create imagery to illustrate the points he's trying to make. The true highlight of all this, however, is in its smallest moment. Admittedly, right before a big moment. It's just Ellen Page and DiCaprio sitting at a cafe in Paris. Now, this is just a normal scene. DiCaprio was explaining the design of dreams to Page, but the exact moment I felt Inception shine was purely this tiny part.
Let me ask you a question. You never really remember the beginning of a dream, do you? You always wind up right in the middle of what's going on.
I guess, yeah.
So how did we end up here?
Well, we just came from the,
Think about it, Ariadne. How did you get here? Where are you right now?
It's fucking great. Why? Because it used the actual craft of filmmaking to highlight something about dreams that we know from both this movie and real life to help cement in your mind one of the concepts in this film. Think about it. When we dream, we never really realize how we got to the situation in the first place. It's always in media res. We need to freeze frame and wonder how we got there. Inception takes that idea and makes it resonate to make such a great point. It's the sheer fact that the scene before is Joseph Gordon-Levitt doing his own thing. The scene before that, DiCaprio and Page are somewhere completely different, talking about something else. It's through the editing of this moment that makes it all the more interesting. Because normally when we watch a movie and this happens, when characters are talking in one location and then continue into another, we don't really think about it. But Inception takes that assumption we have through film editing and actively makes our characters go, holy shit, this is a dream. Just like you'd go, holy shit, that's right. I have no idea how I made it into my old high school. Retaking year 11 at the age of 29, I understand what they're talking about. Inception is heavy stuff. It takes concepts we already have about dreaming, and it plays around with others. We may know stuff about dreams, but this movie uses that to help shape the world it's trying to create.
I believe they have you sedated, and if you pull that trigger, you may not wake up.
It's not like a movie written by Charlie Kaufman, where the audience just immediately buys into things.
Malkovich.
Nolan is good in his own way at making grounded movies about fantastical concepts. Hell, the man made Nikola Tesla magic. He made a Groundhog Day for people with amnesia.
Oh, I'm chasing this guy. No, he's chasing me.
And he made Batman relatively believable.
You think that your client
One of the wealthiest, most powerful men in the world is secretly a vigilante who spends his nights beating criminals to a pulp with his bare hands.
It's no wonder Nolan has cited The Matrix as an influence of Inception. That is a film even more to the brim of heavy concepts, but holy shit is it amazing. Christopher Nolan, for his dedication to filmmaking 10 years ago, made a brilliant original blockbuster movie audiences loved and talked about for years after. Sure, it might not make sense to some,
It's like Inception, Morty, so if it's confusing and stupid, then so is everyone's favorite movie.
but Inception tried. And personally, I find it's a great piece of filmmaking. And oddly, while this sequence blows me away, I also find the brilliance in its smallest moment that tries to get you on board. And that really does blow me away.